So wishing you all a very good afternoon. So let us start the class. Let me have a look of who is there in the class. Aditya Chopra, Abhay Singh, Adhiraj, Gaurav Sharma, Jaipal, Mihir, Neha, Raghav, Rishabh, Sagar, Shubhang, Srajal, Tanish. Okay, good. So yesterday we studied about the presentment of the bill and how the endorsement is done, the types of endorsement we have seen. So today we will be studying about, you can say, the dishonor of a bills of exchange. Okay, so dishonor of a bills of exchange will be the topic for the day. And now let us just consider certain things about the dishonor. So can any one of you tell me what is called a dishonor of a negotiable instrument? Anyone? So anyone from you? What is called a dishonor of an instrument? Yes, Neha. What do you mean by
Yes,
dishonor of an
sir.
instrument? Yeah.
Sir, it means the money can't be made from that. Means the drawer or the maker can't get the money.
Okay. Can't get the money because of
Uh,
what?
Sir, it means the pay who has to pay, he is not able to pay because of some circumstances.
Okay.
Due-
Sir,
Yes. Yes.
sir, it's uh, so if we talk about dishonor of a check or any instrument,
Yes.
uh,
Yes.
the bank will reject the check because of some problem or insufficient funds.
Okay. Fine. Good. Good. I think you have gone more insight about the checks. Yesterday you raised your hand that you have your own checkbook. Sandhya, am I correct?
Yes, sir.
Good. Very good. So fine. What else? Anyone else? Please participate. Come on. Jaipal Singh Tamar. Jaipal Singh Tamar. Srajal. 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 Lakshay Sharma. Lucky Chaudhary. Khushi Wadhwa.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, Lucky Chaudhary, you tell me what is dishonor of a negotiable instrument?
Uh,
Yes. Okay, Khushi Wadhwa.
Yes, sir.
What do you mean by dishonor of a negotiable instrument?
The loss of owner,
Yeah.
the loss of the owner for the instrument.
Loss of the instrument is dishonor. What is dishonor of an instrument? Yes. Let me tell you, on Monday we
Like,
will have a quiz on negotiable instruments. Okay. Monday quiz will happen on negotiable instruments in both the sections. Yes, come on. Tanish Agarwal.
Yes,
Yashasvi.
sir.
Yeah, Tanish.
So, Tanesh,
Yeah, Tanish. What
uh,
is
yes.
dishonor of a negotiable instrument?
So I don't have a clear idea about it, but it states that when an instrument or like a decision is made, people have to be fair about. I mean, decision should be collective. Like I'm not able to express it, but I think that um
So anyways, you all have your own views. Let me just take you to the presentation now. So dishonor of a bill, what it will, a bill may be dishonored by non-acceptance and non-payment. Suppose you have written some bill, suppose somebody has taken some debt from you, okay, and in exchange of that debt, okay, you have asked him to, you know, go for a negotiable instrument, okay, and that person has not accepted that instrument because on one hand he has taken debt from you, on other hand he is not accepting the instrument. So this is a dishonor of an instrument, okay, by non-acceptance. Another is after accepting the instrument and after passing of due of certain time, the person has not made payment on the due date. This is called dishonor by non-payment. Okay, so there are two types of dishonor of a bill: dishonor by non-acceptance and dishonor by non-payment. Now let us just elaborate it. So dishonor by non-acceptance, when a bills of exchange is said to be dishonored by non-acceptance, it is one of it can happen in one of the following ways. When a bill is duly presented for acceptance and a drawee or one of the several drawees not being the partners. Now what happens if they are partners? So if they are partners, then there is a mutual agency. So even if one partner accepts the bill, it will be applicable to all other partners. So accept the partner if it is made to number of drawees, or you can say if it is made to more than one drawee, and they refuse, okay, and if one or any of them has refused to accept it within 48 hours from the time of presentment, the bill is said to be dishonored. So how many hours? 48 hours is given, okay. So in other words, when the drawee makes a default in acceptance upon being duly required to acceptance upon being duly required to accept the bill, okay, this is written twice. So upon being duly required to accept the bill and he has not accepted it within 48 days, then it will be said that it is non-acceptance. Okay. Next is where the drawee is incompetent to contract and the bill may be treated as a dishonor. Okay. Suppose you have given a bill to a minor and he has refused. So it will be dishonor by non-acceptance. And when a drawee gives a qualified acceptance or he is actually giving some conditional acceptance, the this is not accepted, it is also said to be dishonored. Okay. Further, also when the drawee is a fictitious person or some or after reasonable search he has not been found, the bill may be treated as a dishonored one. The effect of dishonor of non-acceptance is that the holder of the bill can start action against the drawer and the endorsers and need not to wait for the maturity of the bill. Actually, maturity is not a question at all. Maturity of the bill happens only when the person has actually matured. He has actually accepted the bill. Then only there is a question of maturity. Otherwise, there is no question of maturity at all. Okay. Next is by non-payment. So a promissory note, or bills of exchange, or check is said to be dishonored by non-payment when the maker of the note or acceptor of the bill or the drawee of the check makes a default in payment upon being duly required to pay the same. So when they are duly required to pay it at the time of its maturity. So at the maturity of the bill or maturity of the bills of exchange, or you can say promissory note or check, the person who is supposed to pay he is not able to pay because of insufficient funds, which just now was told by one of you. Okay, so it may be any reason, but ultimately the person who was supposed to receive the payment has not received it. Okay, so it will be treated as dishonor by non-payment. So dishonor by non-acceptance is section 91, dishonor by non-payment is section 92. Again, negotiable instrument is dishonored by non-payment when the presentment when presentment of payment is excused, and instrument when become overdues and remains unpaid. And further, where the promissory note was sent by a registered post and the party liable to refuse to receive the post, the bill is held to be dishonored. Okay. Further, now this is the difference between these, that when a dishonor by non-acceptance of bills of exchange happens and dishonor of non-payment. Why? Because non-acceptance, what are the, which instrument is there which is subject to acceptance? Only bills of exchange. Rest other instruments are only subject to payment. Okay. So now next is a notice of dishonor. So when the negotiable instrument is dishonored either by non-acceptance or non-payment, the holder must give a notice of dishonor to the drawer or to the previous holder. The notice must be given, it is for sure. So in order to make them liable for the instrument, a notice has to be served or notice has to be given to them. So if he fails to do so, except in case where the notice of dishonor may be excused, he will forfeit his right of action against the prior party is entitled to the notice of the dishonor. So what will happen if he has not given a proper notice? In that case, what will happen? If he has not given a proper notice, in such situation, he will lose the right to file a suit against them, because if a lack of notice actually depicts that he is not having intention to recover the money, or he is not having intention to, you know, or he is having intention to excuse them. Okay, fine, no problem. I do not have any problem. Okay, so that's why notice is important. Here also again it is mentioned that the object of the notice of dishonor is to inform or to warn the party or the person who is liable on the instrument about the dishonor of the instrument. Okay. Also in the case of drawer, to enable him to protect himself as against a drawee or acceptor who has dishonored the bill. So both the things are there in order. Actually, what the thing is, a notice has to be given in order to enable him also to find out the reason why the bill has been dishonored. It may happen that by mistake the bill has been dishonored by banker or someone else. So in order to, this actually provides the other party a opportunity to see, and again opportunity to repay also, in order to save themselves from the legal formalities in future. Okay, so in order to make the drawer liable on the dishonor by the drawee or the acceptor, it is necessary that notice of dishonor must be given to him. Omission on the part of the holder to give notice of dishonor would discharge the drawer not only from his liability upon the check, but also from the original debtor's consideration. Okay, so the doctrine of notice of dishonor is based on the principle of just and equity. So it has to be just and equitable to provide the notice to the other person that he is not at all able to pay the amount. Okay. So by whom the notice should be given and to whom it should be given. Okay, that is now under section 93 it is given. Okay, so notice by whom? So notice of dishonor must be given by the holder or by a person liable on the instrument, but it is not necessary that the notice should always emanate from the from the from the holder. Okay, for he is entitled to avail himself for the notice given by the party liable on the instrument. Notice of dishonor given by a stranger is of no effect. Why? Because may it be, because it is not at all affecting him. So a person who is actually getting affected by the by such dishonor, or a person or party who is yet to receive the payment has not received the payment. So those parties or those other interested parties or who will be liable, they are liable to give the notice. For example, A has taken a bill from B, B has taken a bill from C, and C has taken a bill from D. So D has endorsed to C, C has endorsed to B, B has endorsed to A, and finally it was written by E. So E has written the bill, and he is the person, because of him the dishonor has happened. So he knows that dishonor has happened, but these people, those who are in between, they do not know that dishonor has happened. So accordingly, they all must be made liable, or you can say they all must actually uh, 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 be notified, because liability will be there in such a situation. Okay, so it is a duty of the endorsee to just tell the endorser that the bill has been disordered, and all the endorsees will report all the previous endorsers that the bill has been dishonored, and this is very, very important because everyone will be the party in that case. So by whom it should be done? Notice of dishonor must be given to all the parties other than the maker or the acceptor, the drawee, whom the holder seeks to make liable. So notice of dishonor to the acceptor of the bill or to the maker of or a note or a drawee of the check is not necessary, because they know it very well. They are the parties primarily liable upon the instrument on the due date and at the proper place. It is they who dishonor the instrument by no acceptance, no payment, and no notice to them will merely be a notice of the fact already known to him. So notice has to be given to those people who do not know about it. So those who are already knowing, those who have actually intentionally made a mistake, or those who have actually uh, um, dishonored the instrument. So if we notify them, it will be just like giving a notice to someone who already knows the thing. That's why notice should not be given to them who are actually the maker of the maker of the check or drawee who is the acceptor. Okay, except them, everyone is liable to get the notice. What can be the mode of the notice? So notice of a dishonor can be given to number one, a duly authorized agent of a person, or if a person is died, then to the legal representative, or if a person has become insolvent, then to the assignee of that person, and such notice can be given either orally or in written form, or it can also be sent by post. Okay, or it may be in any form, but the main thing is that the main intention is to inform the parties in the notice either expressly or with a reasonable intendment, means there with certain sources, you can say, or the intention should be there that he must get the uh, you can say the information about the notice. Okay, and in what way, and that he will be held liable. So what is the intention? Intention is to make that person liable, and that's why we are giving the notice to them. Okay, and it must be given within certain reasonable time and at the place of the business. If that party is not having any place of the business, then the notice can be served at his home also, but the notice has to be served anyhow. Okay, so party receiving must transmit the notice of dishonor. So a party receiving the notice of dishonor must, in order to render any prior party liable, they must actually transfer the notice to the private. So if A is given to B, B is given to C, C is given to D, then they must actually transfer, and and this instrument has got dishonor. So D should transfer C, C should transfer D should inform C, C should inform B about the dishonor of the instrument. Okay. The person receiving notice must transmit it to the prior parties whom wishes to make liable, because everyone is liable for that dishonor. So they have to just communicate to each other, because it may be possible that the last party may have omitted to convey it to the other parties. Okay. So when the notice is not necessary, so following are the situations when the notice is not necessary. If it is a waiver, means if you are waiving that, okay, fine, I do not want to give any notice because I don't bother, I do not actually want my back, or I don't want to, just okay, compromise has been done. So waiver is there. So in order to charge the drawer when it has a countermanded payment, so some countermanded or some payment has been done from somewhere else. So there is no need to give the notice because payment has already been done. Further, no damage. So when the party charged would not suffer any damages because of the notice, so no notice is required. So, for example, to the last party, he is not a person who is writing a check may not require any notice because it is because he will not lose anything. There are no damages are going to happen to him. So it's not necessary to give them the notice. So when the party entitled to notice cannot after due search be found, like Vijay Mallya absconded, okay. So in that case, to whom to serve the notice? So there was there was no notice at all at the time because people may abscond, people may you may they may vanish. Next is to charge the drawers when the acceptor is also a drawer, and in case of promissory note which is not negotiable, also there is no notice required. Why? Because there are only two parties. There is no further negotiation happened. So only two parties were there. One is the maker of the negotiable instrument, and other is the person to whom it is given. It is amongst both of them. So both of them know that if the dishonor happens, both of them already know the dishonor has happened. So there is no need to serve another notice for them in such a situation. What is noting and protesting? Now noting is something informing to the notary public that the bill has been dishonored. Okay. So when a promissory note or a bills of exchange has been dishonored by non-acceptance or non-payment, the holder may cause such a dishonor to be noted by a public notary. So public notaries are those people, those who are, you will find n number of public notaries sitting in the court. They actually get a notary license from the bank who actually record certain things on the behalf of the government. Okay. So whosoever is a notary public, they charge fees from the people who want to just take an oath or who want to just notify certain things. So and they actually write it in the books available with them and also put a seal on the document which is to be noted. So such note may be made within a reasonable time after dishonor and must specify the date of dishonor and the reason, if any, assigned for such dishonor, or if the instrument has not been expressly dishonored, the reasons of the holder why he is treating it as a dishonor and his charges. So these are to be mentioned. So these are the particulars which are to be mentioned in the noting. That the fact of dishonor, date of dishonor, reasons of dishonor. If the instrument has not been expressly dishonored, the reason why the holder is treating it as a dishonor, and the notary charges which he has actually charged or taken. And noting must be made by a notary within a reasonable time. Okay, so that has to be within, this is under section 99. Noting is not compulsory in case of inland bill or not, but in case of a foreign bill, it is must. The omission to get the instrument noted does not in any way affect the rights of the holder thereon. Noting is, however, compulsory in foreign bills, but it will not affect the right. But actually, when you are going to create evidence, then it will be helpful. Protest. So what is protest? Protest happens when the promissory note or bills of exchange has been dishonored by non-acceptance and non-payment. The holder may within the reasonable time cause such dishonor to be noted and certified by a notary public. So such certificate which is issued by a notary public is called a protest. So that certificate which is issued by notary public, which actually is a evidence that the dishonor has happened, is called protest. So what are the contents of the protest? So protest is based on the noting. A protest, in order to be valid, must contain all the following particulars, that is, the instrument itself or a literal transcript of the instrument and of everything written on the instrument itself, whatever is printed. Okay, name of the person for whom and against whom the instrument has been protested. Okay, the fact and the reason of the dishonor whatsoever. Okay, the place and the time of dishonor, and the substitution, that is a signature or the seal of the notary public, and in case the acceptance of the is acceptance for the owner or the payment. So all these things which are mentioned in the noting are also mentioned in the protesting. So what is the difference between noting and protesting then? So promissory note, what is noting? Promissory note, bills of exchange, check has been dishonored by non-acceptance or non-payment. The holder may cause such dishonor to be noted by notary public upon the instrument and upon the paper attached thereto or partly upon each. Now, in case of protest, what will happen? Promissory note and bills of exchange has been dishonored by non-acceptance or non-payment. The holder may cause such dishonor to be noted and certified by the notary public. Now, there is one difference over here, which is very clear from seeing this, that in case of check there is no need of protest, but in case of all the three, noting must be done. Okay, noting should be done because noting is not compulsory. So in case of check, if the check has got dishonor, why protesting is not required? Because the bank itself is one of the proof that the check has got dishonor, and they issue a slip. Bank issues a slip mentioning the reason why the check has got dishonored. Okay, so it may be insufficient funds, it may be accounts closed, it may be mismatch in the signature, or whatsoever reason. If the bank has mentioned any reason, then because of that reason, particular reason, there may be dishonor. So that reason is to be mentioned. So in case of check, there is no need of taking any certificate. But in case of bills of exchange and promissory note, whether it is dishonor or not, who will say it is dishonor? So there has to be some authority who has to say it is dishonor, and that authority is the notary public, who will issue a protest against those people who have actually got dishonor. So notice of protest again is also required to be given. It is also having the same things what you have in your notice of dishonor. So protest for non-payment after dishonor by non-acceptance. So bills of exchange drawn payable at some other place than the place mentioned as the residence of the drawee, and which are dishonored by non-acceptance, may, without further presentment to the drawee, be protested for non-payment in place specified for payment unless paid before the maturity. So if the place has been changed and the things have not been paid before the maturity, then there is no need of going for any protest. It can directly be suited. Now, protest for foreign bills. Foreign bills of exchange must be protested for dishonor when such protest is required by law of the place where they are drawn. So thus the foreign bill must be protested as a law of the most of the countries has made protested compulsory, because if there are foreign bills and it has to be, and these are not at all made, because what happens when it is a foreign bill, the person who is living in that country will be responsible. So how to make the government also responsible in that case? So in that case, protest will help you out that that person who is a resident of some foreign country has also done a default in that case. Okay, so this is all about what we have to study today in today's class. Tomorrow we will be going with the dishonor of bills of exchange also. Okay, so any question if you would like to ask, or any question if you are having, you may ask me.
Sir, who is a fictitious person?
Fictitious person, sometimes a Ponzi person or something, a person who is not in existence, or sometimes the bills are drawn on a company which is created to accept the bill only. Otherwise, what happens? Those people who are behind the company are the same person who have drawn the bill. So in that case, the company will be a fictitious person. Is it okay?
Okay, sir.
Yeah. Anyone, anything else? Very good question Pranav has asked.
Sir, I also have a question.
Yeah, please, Neha, come on.
Sir, but it's not related to this topic.
It's okay. Carry on.
Sir, I want to know when the colleges will get reopened.
What happened?
Sir, I'm not enjoying online classes.
You are?
I'm not enjoying online classes.
You're not enjoying online class, but beta, we do not have any
I
other
want to
option.
come and study in offline.
We also want our dear students to be here. We have also.
Sir, but I'm doing the college.
बेटा खुल जाएगा बेटा. अब we are also waiting. See, pandemic is spreading like anything these days, and if we will open the college, you know what will happen. Number one, we will be against everyone, and secondly, we may go against some of the parents will also object that why you have opened it. राइट, इट इज, हमको भी कोई ऑनलाइन पढ़ाने में मजा थोड़ी आ रहा है बेटा। आप लोग जब सामने होते हो, जब आपके एक्सप्रेशंस चेहरे पर आते हैं ना, तब हमें सेटिस्फेक्शन मिलता है कि यस, हमारा पढ़ाया वो आप तक पहुंचा। गेटिंग और नॉट? तो वो चीज मतलब मैं तो बहुत मिस कर रहा हूँ, दूसरों का नहीं पता, बट आई एम मिसिंग इट बैडली।
मैं भी सर।
वैसे कंप्यूटर को देख के बोलते रहो बोलते रहो बोलते रहो, कुछ लोग रिस्पॉन्ड करते हैं ना, किसी का कोई एक्सप्रेशन पता चलता है कितना समझ में आ रहा है कितना नहीं आ रहा है, बस अब क्या करें। इवन इसमें भी मैं कितनों को बीच बीच में पूछता रहता हूँ, सो दैट इज समथिंग व्हाट आई कैन डू, बट अदरवाइज तो क्या है।
हाँ जी सर।
बट देखो जैसे ही खुलेंगे, मैं हम लोग खुद चाहते हैं कि फटाफट खुले। आप लोग भी अपने पेरेंट्स के पास रह रहे के बोर हो गए हो, क्यों नहीं यार?
यस सर।
फ्रेंड्स के साथ में जो अभी देखो ना, अभी पेंडेमिक आपका जो गोल्डन पीरियड है ना ग्रेजुएशन का, उसका पूरा 1 साल खा गया। क्या करें, बट नो अदर ऑप्शन। बट टेल मी, हाउ कैन आई मेक इट मोर इंटरेक्टिव, हाउ कैन आई मेक इट मोर इंटरेस्टिंग? बताओ, आप मुझे बताओ, तो आई विल जस्ट।
नहीं सर, आपकी क्लास में इश्यूज नहीं है, पर सुबह सुबह वाली क्लासेस ऑनलाइन नहीं होती हैं।
हम क्योंकि अपन रात को बहुत लेट तक जगते हैं ना नहीं यार, और फिर सुबह उठना नहीं हो पाता है ना। और वो प्रॉब्लम तो अपने को यहाँ पर भी होती है जब अपन यहाँ पे हॉस्टल में रहते हैं, कहाँ आते हैं सुबह उठ के वाली क्लास में, हमेशा लेट हो
नहीं
जाते
सर, तो भी
खड़े
कहाँ
रहते
हो जाता है सुबह वाली क्लास का।
हैं।
यहाँ ऑनलाइन तो बहुत मुश्किल है, वहां तो सर फिर भी हो जाता है, फ्रेंड्स वगैरह साथ में होते हैं, उठ जाते हैं। यहाँ तो बहुत मुश्किल है।
तरफ से पक्का टाइम पे आएंगे सारी क्लासेस में।
हाँ ऋत्विक, एनीथिंग यू वांट टू से?
तो सारी क्लासेस में टाइम पे आएंगे अब से।
हैं?
अच्छा तुम आओ।
कौन है टाटा?
कौन बोल रहा है भाई, कौन बोल?
सर अब ऋत्विक की अटेंडेंस देखिएगा, ये हर क्लास में टाइम पे आता है,
क्या बात,
100% वाला बच्चा
सही
है।
बात। तुम अच्छा नेहा, तुम्हारी अटेंडेंस वहां से कैसे मिलेगी मुझे?
सर मैंने मेल वगैरह तो सब कुछ कर दिया है केकिनी सर को।
ओके।
अब वो
अब
जब
क्या
भी
है, मेरी
आपको भेज।
अटेंडेंस तो तुमने देख ही लिया, मेरी अटेंडेंस तो ट्रांसपेरेंट और
हाँ
ऑनलाइन है, वहां से पेस्ट करके
हाँ
किसी को
जी।
कोई भी देख सकता है ना।
हाँ जी सर, आपकी तो मैंने देख ली,
आप
बाकी मैंने केकनी सर को भी टेक्स्ट डाल दिया और सब
if
कुछ
you
मेल
send
वगैरह
the
सब
link,
कर दिया।
if you send the link, it can be seen by anyone and everyone in the university.
यस।
Not only in the university, even I have the records of my students, those who have passed 5 years back. 5 साल पहले जो MBA, मैं पहले MBA में पढ़ाता था, MBA के बच्चों को जो मैंने पढ़ाया था, तो उनकी भी अटेंडेंस आज भी मेरे पास में, उनके मार्क्स वार्क्स सब कुछ, एवरीथिंग इज देयर। चलिए कोई बात नहीं, एनीवेज। सो बताइए, what else can be done? Okay, fine, then I'm leaving you early today. Okay, you have some time. Take care. Let me take the attendance first and then we will depart for the day. Okay. Please say yes, sir. Okay. Aditya Chopra,
Yes, sir.
Akash Jain, Abhay Jain,
Yes, sir.
Shekhawat, Abhay Singh,
Sir, present Abhay Singh Shekhawat.
Adhiraj,
Yes, sir.
Akash Jindal,
Yes, sir.
Ashutosh Sharma, Deepak
Yes, sir.
Mani, Dipendra Gujar, Dipti Rakesh,
Yes, sir.
Devyanshi Chowdhury,
Yes, sir.
Faisal Ahmed Khan, Gaganjit Singh, Gaurav Sharma,
Yes, sir.
Harshit Gupta, Jaipal Singh, Kashish Sharma, Khushi Wadhwa, Lakshay Sharma,
Present, sir.
Lucky Chaudhary, Manish Khileri,
Yes, sir.
Mihir Agarwal,
Yes, sir.
Aman Singh, Neha Goplani,
यस सर।
Parija Gupta, Pranav Sharma, Priyam
Present,
Soni,
sir. Sir, Priyam present, sir.
Rajveer Singh Anand, Raghav Singhal,
Yes,
Rishabh
sir.
Goel.
Raghav Singhal present, sir.
Yeah, Rishi Kanungo. Ritvik.
Yes, sir.
Rishi present, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Present.
Ritik Yadav. Ritvik Sethi.
Yes, sir.
Sachin Yadav. Sagar Shirvi. Sahil Khandelwal. Sangya. Shashank Kundra. Shriyansh
Present, sir.
Yes, sir.
Shubhang. Srajal. Tanish Agarwal. Tarun Singh. Ujjwal Gupta.
Present, sir.
So,
Vaishnavi Mishra. Vikramaditya Singh.
Present, sir.
Vishal Chaudhary. Yashasvi Purohit. And Yashpal Singh.
Present, sir.
present, sir.
Okay, guys.
Sir, my name did not come.
हाँ दीप्ति राकेश तुम्हारा नाम पता नहीं कैसे रह
सर
गया।
सर मेरा भी रह गया। अभिषेक सिंह सिसोदिया।
हाँ अभिषेक सिंह से पता नहीं आप लोग लॉग इन लॉग ऑफ हो रहे होंगे तो रह गया होगा।
सर
आज तो मुझे कोई ऐसी जल्दी भी नहीं थी। अभिषेक सिंह सिसोदिया। Anyone else whose name has I am not announced? Fine then, guys, take care.
Bye, sir.
Have a
Bye,
safe
sir.
time and have a good evening. Bye bye. See you.
Thank you, sir.
Sir, bye, sir.
Bye, sir.